Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Dwayne Lockett James, and today I'm here to discuss financial literacy. So, when I say financial literacy, I want to touch up on the points of your pay, budgeting, savings, and credit. Now, starting off with pay, I know we all get excited when we get those paychecks. We're like, "Ooh, I just got paid. I'm finna go blow this money." No, that is not the key to financial literacy. That's not the key to financial literacy. So, when it comes to pay, first thing I love to do, I love to check my pay stubs, understanding, oh, this is how much money I got paid this month. This is how much money I have towards deductions. This is how much money I have going towards taxes. So, understand how much money you're taking home after deductions and taxes is very, very key into budgeting, which we'll talk about next. So, when it comes to your pay, checking your pay stub is really important. Understanding how much you're supposed to get paid, all those good things is the first step into taking financial literacy more serious. Now we're gonna go into budgeting. Budgeting, my favorite part. I love budgeting. I don't know. Something about budgeting is really fun. Some people don't like it. I don't know. Budgeting, on the other hand, is a bit more strenuous. You have to understand, hey, this is how much money I make. Now you have to say, this is how much money I put towards things with the money that I make now. So some people love the 50, 30, and 20 rule. Me personally, I don't really have a percent. I have a percentage that not off the top of my head, but the percentage rule is what I would like to call it. Understanding, hey, 50% of my money goes towards bills, utilities, rent, groceries, all your needs. 30% goes into your entertainment, whether that's entertainment or anything that if you want. So whether that's shoes, Netflix subscriptions, Spotify subscriptions, anything that you want, 30% goes towards that, and the last 20% goes towards your savings and investing, which that's where I like to spend a lot of my money at. So, but it depends on what works for you. So you have to understand your means of living as well too. Is 70% of your income go towards your rent? Does 50% of your income go towards your savings? That is something that you have to build up and understand with your money. This is with your situation. This is where I stand when it comes to budgeting. So there are many resources out there as far as when it comes to budgeting. There are many Excel sheets those are my favorite to understand. Hey, this is how much money I have coming in, and this is where that money is going. Having those Excel sheets lets you know, okay, I have X amount of money going towards this, that, and that. So budgeting is really important when it comes to understanding financial literacy. That way you understand, how much you're saving, which we'll get into now. So when it comes to savings, according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, people who actively track their spending are much more likely to avoid debt and build financial stability. Now, why saving is important in this context? Well, you won't incur debt if you always have money to lean back on. So building your emergency fund in case of an emergency is really important. Depending on how much your rent is, depending on how much, if an emergency were to happen, will you have the money to cover it? It's really what your emergency fund should be used for. So that's where I would start off when it comes to savings. Once you start to have money for emergencies such as a car, medical, whatever the case may be, this is where you start to get into those accounts such as your high yield savings account, which I would highly recommend putting that emergency fund into your high yield savings account. Really would be a really good idea to do. This is where you start to get into the investments. Understanding, hey, I get paid. I'm gonna put money into a brokerage account for stocks, or I'm gonna put money into a Roth IRA, or money into a 401k. Even at your job, sometimes some people's jobs has 401k and Roth IRA options where they match the money that you put in every year. So that is something to look out for and inquire at your company. Um, so when it comes to savings, there are many avenues when it comes to saving, whether that's just saving money for a rainy day and saving money for a long-term investment such as stocks, putting money into Roth IRAs and things like that for retirement. Now, lastly, I want to talk about credit and why credit is so important. Um, I'm sure a lot of you all who are here want to eventually own a house or own some type of um, own a house, own some type of car that you've always wanted, anything like that. Credit comes into play here. So 32% of Gen Z have more credit card debt than savings, which is very, eyebrow raising if you ask me. When it comes to credit, you have to understand credit is something that is a really good tool to utilize, but you have to understand how much money can you put towards your credit and loans that you can take out. So if you are a new credit user, having a small credit card limit is very good to build with a company, bank, or credit union. Those are really good starter cards to have, and pay off those every month, whether that's just for gas, groceries, or just maybe going out to eat. Swiping that credit card for $50 for the month and paying it off slowly builds that credit up. And if you can pay that, that is really good. And as you start to do that, you start to build your credit score, and these other institutions start to say, hey, this person is really financially responsible. We'll give them a bigger loan at a lower interest rate, hopefully. And if that's the case, you have the potential to start to slowly own these properties and cars that you've always wanted. So being able to leverage your pay and your credit is really important, which all ties back to financial literacy, understanding your pay, your budgeting, your savings, and your credit. I hope this information was very helpful. If you all have any questions, please reach out and I will be honored to answer them. Thank you for listening.